And we're live. Hi, Stella. You want to say hi to everybody? Hi. Come on, to say hi. Say hi like normal. There we go. Today, what is the name of the book we're going to... Okay, she's got her little Moana toy. What's the name of the book we're going to be reading today? Adios Oscar.
Oscar.
And what is it about? Stella, they can't see you if you're up there. Why don't you sit down here?
I can't.
Okay, what's the story about, Stella? Oh, okay. Well, she hasn't remembered. Because we did watch this, or did read this about an hour ago, and apparently she's not remembering things too well. But anyway, it's called Adios Oscar, a butterfly fable. Let's go ahead and turn this down just a little bit. Oh, Aunt Sandy said hi, Stella. Say hi, Aunt Sandy.
Hi, Aunt Sandy. Hi.
Oh, she got her Moana. Okay, I don't know why she's got that. So, because she's a 4-year-old now, all of a sudden.
No, I'm not. I'm a 5-year-old.
And when are you going to be 6?
I will show you what my present now. And I'm going to get some butterflies when I get
That's why we're reading this book. It's called Adios Oscar, a butterfly fable. And she is wanting to get some butterflies for her birthday. So we're going to order them, and they will arrive hopefully on Thursday, a butterfly kit. So here we go.
And they're going to be worms. And when they're cocoons, we
What?
put them on the standard, like logs, and they put them in the logs into the case, then zip it up, and then ta-da.
Then butterflies. So there won't be worms. They'll be what? Caterpillars, right? And what's another word for for cocoon? What did you talk about? A holy name? It's not a cocoon. It was a
Chrysalis.
chrysalis. Okay, here we go. There was a house. In the window of this house, there was a flower in a pot. On a leaf of this flower, there was a little caterpillar. And if you'd asked this caterpillar his name, he would have said, "My name is Oscar." Like his spiky hair. That's just what he said when a butterfly blew in from the sky, landed on his flower, and asked him his name. "Pleased to meet you, Oscar," said the butterfly. "My name's Bob. I just flew in from Detroit, and boy, are my wings tired. But seriously, do you know the way to Mexico?" "Nope, but I sure like those wings of yours," said Oscar. "Thanks," said Bob. "One day you'll have a pair of your own." "Really?" Oscar gasped. "Count on it," said Bob. Then, fluttering off on the passing breeze, he shouted, "If you're ever down in Mexico, look me up." Oscar crawled as fast as he could to tell his caterpillar friends all about the wings he was going to grow and how he was going to fly far away, just like Bob the butterfly. "No one listens to butterflies," Squirmy sneered. "They just make stuff up. Besides, anyone with big, crazy wings has to be nuts," scoffed Wiggly. "And anyone who believes them is nuttier," Nibbles laughed. "Look at us," sang the 3 caterpillars. "We're Oscar, the amazing flying nut." "You're starting to bug me," Oscar growled. "That's because we're bugs," they laughed. "That's what we do." Then they saw a ladybug, and off they went to prove their point by bugging her about the spots on her back. There's his 3 friends. They're going to go bug that ladybug. "Don't listen to them. They're knuckleheads," whispered a little voice. It was Edna, the bookworm, peeping shyly from behind Oscar's flower pot. "But they might be right," said Oscar. "And they might be wrong," suggested Edna. "Want to find out?" Looking first this way and then that way, she silently motioned for Oscar to follow her. They crawled off the windowsill, then up a bookcase until they came to an old book made of shiny brown leather with and decorated with gold. "There they are," she said. "But you can't judge a book by its cover," Edna said, opening a small door at the bottom of the book. There was a little door on that book.
It's like one else is like
Okay. It was the door to a library. As far as Oscar could see, there was nothing but bugs and books and bookworms reading them. Wow! Oscar yelled. Shh! The bookworms replied. Don't worry, Edna said. They love to do that. Of course, bookworms in a library will say shh all the time. Oscar and Edna found all kinds of books that said that caterpillars do grow wings and turn into butterflies, and that the butterflies who look like Bob do fly all the way to Mexico. None of these books said Bob was nuts. They said he was right. Oscar also studied maps. Mexico was thousands of miles away, which is quite far for someone whose whole world has been a flower pot. It was a little scary, but the more Oscar found out about all the different places he'd see and the different bugs he'd meet, the more he wanted to go there. Oscar also found out that they speak Spanish in Mexico, so he figured he'd like to do that too. He learned to say hello. Hola. He learned to say goodbye. Adios. He learned to introduce himself so everyone would know who was saying hello and goodbye. Hola, mi nombre es Oscar. But will they know me when I'm a butterfly? Oscar asked. Sure, Edna replied. No matter what you are, you'll always be Oscar. Too soon, the time came for Oscar to take that long caterpillar nap they'd read about. He'd sleep, and when he woke up, he'd have wings. Before you go, let's learn one more thing, said Edna. They learned how to say good night. Buenas noches. Oscar went to sleep and dreamed of distant blue mountains and all of the new friends he'd meet as he rode the wind out of Cleveland and all the way to Mexico. He slept, and he slept, and he slept some more. Here he is dreaming. Oh, I was dreaming of all those friends. There's those blue mountains. Then one day, Oscar woke up. As he yawned, he wiggled out of his cocoon. He felt something else wiggle on his back. Wings! He had wings! But something wasn't right. He also had an appetite, a big one. And why was he craving socks? Hey, Oscar, Nibble shouted from inside the closet. Taste this designer sweater. It's yummy. Look at us, yelled Wiggly. We're flying around a light bulb for no reason. Whee! Cried Squirmy. Stella, I don't think they became butterflies. What do you think?
I think not. I'm trying to get this back on.
Fighting the urge to head for the light bulb, Oscar flew to the mirror instead. Oh no, he cried. Someone made a mistake. I'm not a butterfly. I'm a moth. Now Oscar would never ride the wind. He would never see Mexico. For the rest of his life, he'd fly around a light bulb or sit in a drawer eating old socks. Mas me diez, por favor. Oh, look, there he is at the little tavern or little restaurant trying to get some more socks. Oscar tried to make the best of it, even with nowhere to go. Flying sure beat crawling, and socks actually tasted pretty good. But when Oscar said, more socks, please, in Spanish, it made him sad. It just reminded him of the blue mountains he'd never see. There he is at that little diner trying to order some socks. He might have forgotten all about Mexico, but one bright night, Oscar happened to land on his favorite flower in the window. He hadn't come back there since he'd become a moth, and looking around him, a tiny piece of paper caught his eye. There was writing on it. This is what it said. Dear Oscar, amazing things can happen when a moth thinks like a butterfly. Write me from Mexico. Love, Edna. Oscar felt the moon begging him like a big light bulb in the sky. Yes, he was a moth, and what a moth. Adios, amigos, said Oscar. I've got a postcard to write, and off he soared, up toward the moon and into the great night sky. Where are you going? Squirmy called after him. You won't get far, shouted Wiggly. What's amigos? Nibbles asked. Can you eat it? I have a feeling amigos has an appetite much like me.
Hello.
The other moths figured that he'd be back as long as there was a porch light to fly around. After all, they said, he's a moth. That's what we do. But that's not what Oscar did. Even with the porch light on, he never came back. However, there are blue mountains in Mexico. High in these mountains, there's a green field that is alive with countless butterflies. In the middle of this field, there's a flower. Sitting on this flower, you'll find a moth who's writing a postcard to a friend. If you ask this moth his name, he'll most likely say, Mi nombre es Oscar. And there's his postcard. Dear Edna, I thought like a butterfly. Love, Oscar. P.S. Bob says hi. To Edna T. Bookworm at Big Book Drive in Cleveland. I just love this artwork. Of course, in the back of this book, you've got some more little facts. I won't bother reading you about. But you've got more facts in there about butterflies and about moths. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed Adios Amigos, a butterfly fable by Peter Elwell. The test number is in the description at the bottom, so look that up. It is an AR book. Just look up Adios Oscar by Peter Elwell, or you can just type in that number. You'll find it at the bottom of this page. Well, hope everybody enjoyed this. We'll be back tomorrow night with yet another story. Like I said, I will do this all week long. So unless I have any questions in the chat, other than where did Stella go? We don't know. And that? Yes, it is. I really like this book. And it was a good segue into the present that Stella's going to get for her birthday. So other than that, you want to say goodbye, Stella? Oh, here she comes. She made it back. She returned from wherever it is she went.
My playroom, where it was the studio, but it's actually my playroom.
Okay, so her playroom, which I've been calling YouTube Studios, we decided to come out to the living room. So other than that, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye. Here you
Bye.
go, Mr. Beach. No.